I'm still dumbfounded that all of this that I'm experiencing personally right now has been cooking for so many decades. Yeah, wow.
More is cooking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's the same theme as the word I had yesterday, convergence. It's all coming together from very diverse, very remote places, and it's all coming together into one theme, one one life, one wholeness.
Wholeness, yes. Or light, or whole lightness.
And I know I would never have seen this without you all, without other people. It's very, that impressed me deeply about a few days ago. When I realized that anything large that I want to create from here on out, it's very important to join with others and do it together. Like the lone wolf stage of my life is over. Individualism is over. Solopreneurship is over.
Owning and holding on to mine is over.
Yeah. Ownership is over. Yeah.
Just release it. Just let it go into the vortex, into the field. Just so that whatever needs to come back can.
Yeah.
It's pulling pride with it.
And illusion. You know, 6 months ago, pretty much everything that I ever owned, that included heirlooms and photographs and yearbooks and mementos and stuff that was really, really meaningful to me. That stuff that I owned was taken away from me by force. And I got to be honest, that really, really, really hurts me deeply. But now I know that those are not my treasures. I thought they were. But I know they're not. My real treasure is what I'm creating. My real treasure is being creativity. And had I not lost what I thought was treasures, there's no way I could have seen the real one. And all I can say is that life is way, way, way more rich being at the mercy of cosmic intelligence. And that was really, really uncomfortable at first. But I'm at home here.
Welcome home. Where you belong.
I get to take other people there, Jesse.
Mhm.
I get to bring people in. I get to invite them home. Oh my, my.
Lighten the light.
Oh my.
Lighting the light. Lighting light. The lightness of being.
You know, a lot of people that have a near-death experience describe being drawn to the light.
I've heard that.
Yeah. That's what this is. I just realized that I'm on the other end of that light. I'm one of the people that can invite you and draw you into the light. Wow, never expected this morning. Oh boy, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I'll share in the creator group a video that was shared with me. It's an interview. The doctor who's working at that intersection of light.
Is that Eben Alexander?
Michaels.
Oh, okay. Yep.
She created that. I just saw it from some machine now, a healing machine. Well, it's not really a healing machine, but it's, to explain it, what we do is what this thing does. And she gave great explanation towards it.
Uh-huh.
She said one of the things that stuck is what we focus on expands.
Yeah.
The radiation we're around is pulling our DNA apart. And then her work is light that repairs that it's the body's repairing. Goes out 2.4 miles. And it has the signatures of a nuclear sub on land. She spoke of a vortex, the void, the intersections.
Yep.
Just confirmation, validation.
Yep.
For me.
You ever heard anybody talk about alternate realities that exist in the same space?
No. Spider-Man is probably as close that I would say.
Yeah. Because the truth is, on an atomic level, an atom is mostly space.
All
you know?
probabilities, right? It's all different probabilities.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there's a certain frequency of energy that creates the matter that shows up, and the matter that forms, I guess you could say. And even at that, that chair I'm sitting on is mostly space. it's not it's not anything solid, it's mostly space. And so there could be another chair, another many chairs that exist in exactly that same space, all of different frequencies though. And our bodies are tuned to the frequencies that that our matter is tuned to, which is why we see things, and why light bounces off it, kind of stuff. Why we hear certain frequencies, part of this sound spectrum or the electromagnetic spectrum. So it's all this is interrelated. So alternate reality, the idea is that as the vibration, as the frequency rises for everyone, we're kind of moving from one reality into another one, from one alternate reality to another one. And the theory goes that some people might make it and some people won't. But it'll all happen concurrently. So anyways, that's part of what I'm talking about today too, is like a major rise in frequency. And that actually happens in two ways. It's like frequency rising on one end of it, but dropping lower frequency, dropping heavy frequencies at the same time. So both of those things have to happen concurrently in order for a net rise to happen. And what we're discovering, like in groups like ours, in meetings like this, is that it's much easier to do this when you're focused on the rise in frequency instead of focusing on what needs to be cleared. And that's a relatively new concept to people, because humanity is very fixated on clearing and concentrating on clearing and fixing what's broken and all that kind of stuff. Curing what ails you, those kind of things. So focusing on the light instead of focusing on the dark is a really good thing. You go where your focus is. I've spent a lot of years exploring the darkness, exploring my own darkness and humanity's darkness, and the darkness of death. And actually going there and choosing to live that death experience and come back gives me a very unique perspective on all of it. And the purpose of that for me was to get really personal and intimate with dark energy so that I can smell it from a distance. I know it in my bones. And because of that, a lot of people would have to go there, would have to explore it on their own. It's the role of a Sherpa. A person who's gone up the mountain many, many times before, knows where all the crevices are, knows where the danger areas might be. Somebody you want to climb with.
Gathering, breakthrough, scatter.
Yeah. It's a lot more fun creating original stuff than it is trying to fix all the old stuff. Or trying to maintain it. God forbid.
Yeah. Focusing on preventing,
Yeah.
avoiding. That is what creates the versions of us, of ourselves. We focus, expands. Whatever we're focused on.
Yeah, and realizing that surviving and thriving are basically the same ailment. So deceptive.
Well, it's a little better. And that's the
Well, yeah, it's not quite so painful. Still based on scarcity, though.
it's an oscillation.
Yep.
Step forward, a pull backwards.
Yeah.
You're not free of it. You ever are, but it's degrees of freedom.
Yeah, I feel, it's about feeling more comfortable because you haven't compiled a nest egg. Or a cash flow even.
I relate it to the awakening, right? That's what I connected in this writing. What's possible with that? I think that's when we're all creating what we want.
Yeah.
So creating is a much better word for it.
Yeah, and creating is a very interpersonal. It's an interpersonal activity, as we've discovered.
Aligns with
group.
your rhythms. Rhythms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interpersonal, it's interrelational. Heavy on the interactive, interdependent.
It is as different as every breath.
Yeah, exactly.
Invite Nikki's greatness. Calling out. As the birds are going crazy this morning. Beautiful.
Is that where you are, Jesse?
Yeah.
The birds are going crazy.
Yeah, around the other side of the house.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Back
Yeah,
by the
just-
lemon tree with the lemon water I'm drinking.
Oh, awesome. You got a lemon tree in your yard?
Mhm.
Cool. Gotta love California.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready to go out for a walk, so I'm tying my shoes. Gotta get out there. Sun's up already.
Well, thank you for the share. It was very interesting. Very interesting. We're in interesting times. That's for sure. Yeah. Very exciting. Very exciting. Yeah. Revelation, visions, where we've been, where we're going, where we now. It's just beautiful. Everything. When you see it in that aspect of awareness, it's quite profound. So thank you. And my word for the day is focus. That's really the obvious here for me this morning. And when I was listening, I was like going through my notes, and so it's a really amazing when you allow yourself to just stay open, and then you ask the questions, because then you get the answers.
Yep.
It's that simple. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. And so for me to listen and to hear, I came across my notes that says your spiritual DNA is perfect. Don't ever forget that. Expressing. You are perfect expression of spirit. Your spirit DNA is perfect. And its imperfectness comes from the program which we can change from the old story. So it's allowing to have and giving awareness to new space, new experiences, and not overthinking it.
Yeah, biggest liberation I've ever experienced was when I stopped thinking.
No, I haven't done that one yet. I'm still thinking.
Yeah, but you're thinking less.
Still get wrapped up in it. Yeah. Oh yeah,
And that's a good sign.
it is.
Thinking less.
It opens the space, it opens probabilities, it opens things that I wouldn't have never seen before. So the difference, yes, is rather than playing the same thing over and over again, wanting it to get different, to be different. It's just thinking the same thing.
Mm. Well, what came up for me with listening to you and Jesse, mainly with Craig sharing, it came up like, what do you want to create? What do you want? And this is where you actually create from new. Because from the creator, that's where everything starts new. Everything is new. And then, you know, when I heard Craig say, for me, is to create the platform that I can inspire people in living their truth of awareness and adding value to their lives. Because I think that is what we're all here for. But because we've been so programmed to compare and to be in competition with each other, that we feel that we're separated. And that's why we're in this ongoing warfare with ourselves and with others. But when we come together in spirit, we're one. So it's like letting go of the egoic agenda and knowing that it's there, but allowing to know that it's just a vehicle that's taking us to where we're choosing to go now. And that's where the mindfulness comes into it. Every like, you've got to remind yourself every time. Every time you've got to remind yourself. It's just
Establishing the new patterns and new behaviors. Momentum is creating, it's adding to. Yeah,
and what
yeah.
And what I love when Craig mentioned, Pascal's mentioned, you mentioned, everyone mentions when we come together, how profound it is, because it is that allowing to let somebody have a different perspective and allowing somebody to also have understanding of where they are, and then to be able to have a feedback with that. Because I think when that comes to pass, that person gets to experience it for themselves, because we all experience it in different ways. But when we have that revelation of saying, wow, thank you, that I can now, have understanding. And I think that's what it's really about, coming together and sharing. It's just allowing others just to know for themselves, because as you share, you're sharing basically in what you experienced in your life, what your beliefs were, what your values are, and you're just allowing it to finally express it. To finally express it, because people were not allowed to express their feelings. People feel they're not allowed to speak their truth because they'll get chastised, or they'll get rejected, or they won't be loved, or they get a silent treatment, or all these things that they have experienced in their own lives. So to come out and to really speak from your heart is a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful, powerful thing.
Yeah.
Because the heart has the intelligence. The heart is the thing that has no logic. It speaks just truth. The mind wants the logic. The mind's the logical thing, but it's the heart.
Yeah. Super powerful noticing awareness to pull apart the ego, the heart,
Mm,
the words, and the feelings,
mm,
the ego and the impression.
mm.
The
It's a
ego
very
and
humble,
the
yeah,
desire. Yeah.
yeah. It's a very humble experience, and I can resonate with what's been shared today. It's a very humble experience. And that's when you draw forth what is really about, what is really about to share, you know.
And
You know,
not necessarily in conformance with the worldly structure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, education, you know, we talk about education, and you only know what you know, and it's important. But you know, the thing with education, the Latin original comes from educat, what means is to draw forth, and it's about bringing out what's already exist inside of you. You know,
We do
Mm.
here.
yeah,
It's a beautiful meaning that we've strayed a long ways away from.
yeah,
Rather than pulling it out, we're trying to stuff more information in.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and it's
really.
not about information either.
You know?
It's a lot more about genius.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's just the difference is the genius of that first grader, that kindergartner, the questions that these scientists, these philosophers, these geniuses are asking, and then who steps in the way? The adults. Yeah. Just compare a first grader to a 8th, 9th, 12th grader. And all you have to look at is curious.
So who steps in? Somebody that thinks they know better.
Yep. Who's just sharing their misery.
Yeah, really, isn't that the truth?
But it's scary to look at it. We can't look at ourselves and say, oh, that isn't right. I'm off. And our society feeds that, supports that, validates it. The old society, the one that we're moving away from. Creating a new one. Nikki writes, you express the love that is God in human form. And the key is to just notice what you do with what people say. That's what we've been learning here. That's what we've been exploring here.
Examining our responses.
Yep. You can get to what is every word. Not only what's the whole thing say, but then every word. Every word has a feeling. And that feeling is what we've attached to it. And your feeling will be different than my feeling. And that feeling either expands or contracts. And you add them up all day long, and that will be the direction, the growth, the experience of your life. That's right. And love is expansive. Your resistance is limiting it. If there is resistance to the word, to the feeling, to the meaning of the word that you've attached. It's difficult to do by yourself. Or to do by yourself in a meditation. When you feel love from Nikki, when you feel love, you think that you can do anything. And I have resistance to it. It's like I have resistance to allowing myself to be a God. It's like, to be love. That it can do anything.
Even resistance to being a higher dimensional being while you're here.
That's right. As Nikki says, the key is awareness. Awareness that words have feelings, that we respond to those feelings. They trigger us, trap us, contain us. An observation of the focus on what you focused on. And then the structure naturally pulls you towards your desires when you stay in your heart. You stay in the good, stay in the positive. It's creating momentum, only flows that way. Creation, yeah. Thanks, Nikki. And back to you, Craig, that being creative.
Yeah.
Expressing the heart, expressing the impression. experiencing it, trying it out. Is it this? Is it that? That's not quite set up for our structure, is it?
Oh,
Our worldly structure. I mean, get a job.
yeah. How many people told Christopher Columbus the world was flat?
Oh yeah, Jesus.
But he went anyway. Brave soul.
Just as many people are telling me you can't make more oil and lower your emissions.
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Not quite.
So how do you raise the frequency on behalf of those people? How do you liberate them energetically?
Creating the true choice and taking action towards it. Loving them, yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing what rises to the surface when you ask questions from that perspective. Realize that that's the remedy. The remedy is not fixing the problem. The remedy is raising the frequency of the vibration. We don't learn that in school.
Not yet.
Yeah, I just have to reply to what Craig just said now. And it's very, very important that that gets verbalized and understood, that school is not education. There's nothing that gives you education. They need to change the structure of the school.
Yep. There's a lot of structures that got to change.
Yeah, but school is one of them.
Yes, and they
It's
all
a
will.
old-
We just won't
Structure
like how it
doesn't get
happens, I
changed.
imagine.
Structure doesn't get changed by changing its structure.
Falls
The
apart
structure
first.
the structure gets changed by creating a new one that's vibrationally correct.
That's where the genius comes in. Yeah, there's geniuses
Exactly.
that care about that, and it's fostering those, that supporting those and helping those, if that's where our genius is.
That's where the unknown part comes in. That's why people like us are so important. We're beginning to understand all this and actually apply it to our own lives. And as we do that, all these other things get changed too.
Yeah.
It all kind of started from energy awareness.
Mm.
asking those questions.
Asking the questions and patience with the answer.
Yeah. I wonder how we can raise the frequency. I wonder how I can raise my own frequency. Better question.
I don't know.
wonder how-
The end
yeah,
result
exactly.
into
I wonder how the frequency can be raised.
the end result. Yeah.
That's what I was getting to. It's still the I don't know, and truly letting the I don't know settle through. And if it's the answer, you'll get the same answer again. It's not like it goes away.
And the answer might be unexplainable. Just fine.
Then you know it's not the ego.
Yeah, well, exactly. When you can't figure it out, you know you're on the right track.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the obvious one too. It's like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that means. It's like, yeah, so I can do better with that. I can improve that. I can keep practicing that is what shows
Yeah.
up with that.
Yeah, better.
I'm on the, so it's like you're on the right track with it. It's just, oh, something might need to change, not do it the same way every time.
And then there's just allowing it to expand on its own. Because it will. The question has an energy to it, an expansive energy to it. Describes that defies description. It's a good thing. Description would collapse it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Three things in life. Three things in life. The right to exist and to be ourselves. To be loved and be loved. I need to be taken care of and to be safe. Three things in life.
Here it is. Three things we as humans need.
Yes.
Say it again for me, just to absorb it.
Yeah. Three things in life. The right to exist and to be ourselves. To be loved and loved. I need to be taken care of and to be safe. To love and to be loved. I think it's the greatest of all.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
We connect them to belong. We all want to belong.
Mm-hmm.
And how you know you belong is when you're loved and
Mm-hmm.
loving.
Mm-hmm.
And then listen, being listened and listened to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Magic in those three.
Mm-hmm.
Morning.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
3
You
to
know,
be me.
yeah, yeah. And you know what's come up for me now? Like what's really profound and to be able to share that people learn as they teach. Meaning people
Yeah.
learn when they teach.
Yeah.
It is so interesting for me, because you think about somebody as a teacher and you look at somebody as a mentor and you look at somebody that's there and, but they're just literally learning as they teach. They're just
Yeah.
doing what they're expressing, what's in their heart, and be able to give it out and to be able to learn what they're learning, And this is what we're doing right here. There's no difference. There's no difference. We just people learning as we teach. As we teach, we learn. I mean, there's no real, difference in that. And when you look at it like that, that's what brings what we're bringing now to this platform, and confirming it, because, I think I think confirming is so important, just to know where you are and where you were. You know, it's really important to know that, because sometimes this journey, it's you know, it's you feel quite static, like you don't know, like you're just going through the motions, and you get told like, you just went through something where it was just for your ego, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was a progress. It was a process that you had to go through. Everything has meaning. Nothing's in vain. So you know, you just see like, oh, you're just going through because you're going to the same. But in the same time, you actually completing something that you can move on. Because the fact that I realized that, yeah, I can attend to assume that I've just got it. I've got this. Do you know what I mean? It's like not going from a course to a course to a course to a course and learning and learning. You just get to the place where you just take the initiative of saying, you know, this is what I know now.
Here's where I'm at, and
Yeah,
that's where I
yeah.
want to be.
And that's the creation. That's where you stretch the rubber band.
Mhm.
And you allow tension to seek resolution, because tension is not bad. This is where I am very thankful for. I embrace the tension now. I embrace even being praised, but more important, to be criticized, in knowing that can take me to a really another level of rising above. Because we are so scared of criticism, you know, to be told. And it's very uncomfortable too. But through that uncomfortable, you get comfortable, because then you can go into your heart and say, okay, Spirit, show me now to overcome this one, that I can, you know, move on. Because we stay stuck. We stay stuck with people's opinions.
That's a huge pattern.
Yeah, with people's opinions about our past, what we've experienced. You know, going back and reminding ourselves and taking us through the same old, and we wonder why we're not moving forwards.
Shooting for being right.
Forced to do and be what you're not.
Oh my God!
From the time you're from the time you're a baby. Oh yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I was forced over and over again to do and be what was incorrect for me. What was totally counter to my design. Totally counter to my truth.
But that's an identity that wasn't you. So that's where I feel that that's an identity that it wasn't me. And that is what's so beautiful about coming through this human journey of realizing that we're all wounded. You know, we're all wounded. It's just something that we've all got our trials and tribulations, but we all have trauma. It's just a human journey. But this is what the beauty of coming out of that and saying that was what it was. And you can relate to that and you can understand, but you don't stay there. Because I think this is where it's so important that you don't play the same old record, you know? That you get to dance to a new song, yeah? You get to dance to the heartbeat, you know, the desires of your hearts, you know, of just expressing your now, you know, in that, yeah, it's just freeing.
Next step around that for me,
yes,
is actually seeing the gifts and the value in those experiences.
Yeah.
Like the personal value.
Yeah.
Because when there's when there's repeated abuses, it gives you endurance and resilience. In the same way that in order to get a diamond to flash, a chunk of it has to be cut off. It gives it a facet. It gives it a reflective and absorbent surface at the same time. You look at a real brilliant diamond. It's been cut many, many times.
But if a child has been exposed to toxic shame, that child still knows that it survived it. It hasn't died, it still survived. And that surviving mode takes you through your life realizing and gives you that familiarity, yeah? So this is where you have to get unfamiliar with that.
Well, and just acknowledge that you're one tough son of a bitch and you move on.
Come on now, you badass.
Well, exactly. But isn't that?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
And
Because there's courage and bravery in the badass.
Totally. Yeah, it's awesome. Really awesome.
It's another tool in the toolbox.
You're awesome, Craig. You're awesome. What can I say? You're just awesome.
Yeah.
And Jesse. And everyone in this call. We celebrate our awesomeness. Now put that in the pipe and smoke it. Like it or not. I'm just like it or not. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, you add up all your life experience and you become one extraordinary human being.
And that's the beauty of being ordinary to extraordinary, because it's ordinary people that make extraordinary things. And I love that. I just love the possibility of being just an ordinary little person growing up thinking that's it, but you can create extraordinary things because it doesn't have to be the same. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the same. It should change and it should evolve. And that's what's so enriching when you see somebody that's coming from a place that had nothing and was taken and everything was taken and they're still standing. To me, that's a hero. Yeah. To me, that's a hero. That to me is a hero, okay? And that's inspiring because through your life, it shows the demonstration of what is possible. And a lot of people don't want to use hope, but I like hope because hope is things that you cannot see, but you believe, you trust. And it's that allowing to give yourself that permission. Pretty awesome. I'm going to tell you that much. Let's take that in for a minute. Breathe that in. Breathe that into our bodies, into our system, into our cells, and just thank God for goodness. Goodness.
Well, and I'm thanking God right now for recovery.
Amen. I hear that. I hear that. And it's so good.
That's such a gift right now.
Amen.
To me.
I hear that. I hear that.
And recovering in the, being right in the middle of recovering and being more creative than I have in my whole lifetime put together is quite profound to me, actually.
You know, it's a gift of life. You know, when we come into this
Yeah.
world, it's a gift of life. We are gifts, you know,
Life
of
energy.
life. Yeah. And life is a gift. And when we see that, knowing that we have the gifts in us, that, you know, as you say, God knew you before you were in your mother's womb. He knew you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
for you to come.
once you experience true living,
Yeah.
you can't go back to living death, you know?
You cannot.
You just can't.
It's cannot.
You can't
Yeah.
go back.
I hear that. You can't. Yeah. Yeah.
It's It's like it pulls you like
yeah.
huge suck, huge
Yeah.
sucking into the vortex, you know?
So good. So good. So good. So happy for you. Yeah,
Oh,
absolute.
wow,
I'm so happy.
I just got another one.
Share it.
Human beings are scared to death of experiencing life.
Of course we are. Of course, when I say of course, it's so like above and beyond you ever imagine. And when you get a glimpse, like we're just touching a little glimpse of it, can you imagine, you know, can you imagine it became full force? It's like, it will just blow you, it will take you out. I think it will just take you out.
Yeah.
But through the expression of your heart, as you said, that you want to express the desires of your heart, that is God. That is God.
Oh, yeah.
And there is no other higher than
You
your
realize
higher.
that your heart and God's heart are one and the same.
Yeah, exactly. And that is where you get to demonstrate it in human form. And to me, that is the highest vibration that you can ever give to anybody. Any example. Because people are just going along trying to figure it out because no one's arrived. They're just learning as they go along to receive that love. That belonging, that acceptance. Am I enough? And to know that we made it up. We really did, because if you look back and you realize there was my mother in her 20s with 5 kids.
Yeah.
She was a child herself,
Oh,
just going through life. And she had
my
5
mom was-
children.
my mom had 4 kids before she
Yeah.
turned 23.
Now think about that.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah. And then you want to know why she didn't give you attention,
Oh,
why
I
she
know.
didn't show you that you were significant or you
She
were
was
capable.
a baby herself.
She was a baby herself with major trauma in her life.
Yeah.
That I then eventually went into the energetics of realizing her background. And I started to question it, and I started to answer all these things because I wanted to know. And I was blessed enough in moments when I did have time to share with her. She did open that window and she did share. And that was profound when she said her father left her. He abandoned her mother with 3 kids. You know what I mean? There was so much shame there because he was the disgrace, and he was an accountant, and he stole money, and it was a lot of things that he did, and there was a lot of shame based, and you know. And then her own mother had this whole survive mode and just trying to put a roof over these children's heads. My mother was the what was my mother? Eldest, the second eldest. No, the third eldest. Hang on, am I right? Uncle Harold, Auntie Gettle. Yeah, my mother was the third child. And she always said to me, as she said about her own mother, that she never felt loved by her mother. She always was favored. Her 2 eldest, the 2 elders was favored.
Mhm.
Uncle Harold, and my Auntie Gettle. Those were the 2 favorites. You know, that's what she perceived in her own understanding as a child, also growing up. Yeah, and then my youngest auntie, her younger sister, was the baby. So it was like, yeah, the baby always gets sort of, you know. And she felt very, and that's where all she knew was what she was giving out.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. So when you get to the understanding, when you really get to the understanding that you cannot understand this as a child because you're going through the motions, you're going, you know, all these survival modes. But then when you come out, and you do come out, and you do realize that, oh, your mother isn't what you perceive. Like, you know,
The devil
I thought-
himself, you mean?
no, she wasn't a devil. Definitely not a devil. But what was important is that I knew that I can look within now and say, wow, how amazing that I can have someone that I chose, because I chose her as my mother, and she was a profound teacher in my life, because yeah, I wouldn't know what I know today, and I wouldn't know what I was looking for if I didn't have my mother as my teacher.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm very grateful for that. And so when
My
I
mother
say
was a
to
major
her,
shaper.
absolutely, and
Major
yeah,
shaper.
yeah, and you know, this is a collapse of the new moon, and it's a big one, and it's releasing a lot, and a lot has been released, and I had a lot of resistance to it because I was, you know, holding on to my unworthiness. But then I realized that I've got to release that, and I released her energy, and I released her to be free, because she is free today. She's free. She's a free. And the wonder of knowing that it doesn't need to be like the non-existence to existence. It doesn't mean to be physical to the non-physical. She's with me. She is with me. And I have a whole new relationship with her now. I have a whole new relationship with her that I have longed my whole life for. And that to be able to be and know is the gift I can give to myself now. Because now I pass it to my son. And that pattern has been broken. It doesn't exist anymore. This is when I live in the goodness. Because as you know, as you also said before, the wonder of knowing that they're always around. They're always around. They're always around. They maybe not be in the physical world with you, but they are here with us
Oh yeah.
all the time. And it's just a conscious tapping in and saying, thank you. I love you. Thank you. Because that's all what my mother wanted, was to be loved. That's what she wanted. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So it's releasing the energy that do not serve you for your highest good, but also to know that you can restructure and you can have a whole new understanding of what you choose in that relationship with yourself, with others, and the world. So you become the magnet of what you want. Because that's what you are.
Yeah.
You are a magnet.
You are. Yeah. Yeah. You already are.
Yeah, you already are. It's like this, and having to know that.
Yeah. In fact, you are.
Yeah, you
Big
are.
electromagnet is really what you
Big
are.
time. Big time.
We attract what we focus on.
Absolute. That's it. The power of focus.
So many people, I wonder if people say, oh, I don't focus, or I'm not focused, or
Mm,
I'm unaware of my focus. I wonder how
mm.
many people say that.
Well, a lot of people don't know what they're focusing on. They think they're focusing, but they're not focusing, to be
Mhm.
honest.
I'd say
Well,
more
And
of a
I've
distraction.
witnessed that.
Concentration and focus are the same thing, and they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. People would say, well, I'm focused at work for 8 hours a day.
This just came to me, so I'm going to share it right now. Concentration is something that you do with your head. Focus is something you do with your heart.
Mhm.
It's more a focus is more about being than doing.
Mm.
Yeah, focus is what you want to be.
Mhm. It's good.
What you want to experience. Yeah.
What was the word you compared it to? Concentration, right? Yeah.
Concentration. Yeah, concentration is more like a laser. And so because focus is around being, it can be sharp or it can be very loose. It can be both. And be both at the same time. That's even better. Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, concentration is a point. concentration is one thing at a time.
Yeah, so what you focus on is all the results. Yeah.
Yeah.
Results are what you focus on, but what you focus on are the results.
Well, the effects, the end effect.
Yeah.
Because you want to create as a cause that creates an effect.
And then I think also what comes up for me is mastering is not losing focus, but it's the ability to bring yourself back. That to me is mastering, because we all get off focus, yeah. And this is where we have to always remind ourselves, like, where's the ability to bring ourselves back into creation, into what we're choosing, where we're going, what we're creating, what we want. Is this what we want? No. Is this really what we want to have? A confrontation now and fighting? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? That's destructive, and it's soul destroying. You know, to be right and all that. You know, get over yourself and saying, what are you focusing? And to know that when we get off track, that we can just master it and saying, to bring ourselves back. And that's
ourselves back.
Just bring yourself back. Constantly
Back to
bring
what?
yourself back. Yeah, that's the awareness of just coming back to bring yourself back.
Because here's what I got from that. You said mastery is the ability to bring yourself back.
Yes.
What I heard in that was mastery is being able to focus on the effect, and mastery is bringing yourself back to what would cause that effect.
Yeah.
It's being able to create the cause that's related to that effect.
It's where you put, so
So
the
your starting
intent.
point is the intention.
That's it. That's right.
From that, you go back to what would cause that? What would cause this effect? Oh, okay, I can create that. Create that cause.
Yeah.
So we end up creating the effect by creating the cause of it.
Yes.
Being the cause.
Wow.
And just to, and what comes up for me is that, what do you suggest then? What do you suggest? Just intend it. That's what it is. To have in mind and as a purpose or goal.
The mastery is
That's
intention.
it. Yeah.
That's the
Telling
focus.
You. That's it.
Back to the intention. Yeah.
That's it. Just to intend it. To have in mind as a purpose or goal.
Back to the intention. Being intention.
Yes.
Yes.
Being
the power of being an intention.
Woo!
Sharp
that's
and
bringing
loose.
it home. Now that's bringing it home. Welcome home. Let's put it like that. Rather, welcome home, because that's what it is. It's the present. It's now. Welcome. And this is what we say to each other. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's just welcome. You say thank you to somebody and they go, oh, you're welcome. Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah.
I'm just playing with that now because it's so like, what is happening? Yeah, welcome. It's welcome to the creation of creating just because you love it. Nothing else. Nothing intended to fix or to become or be or show others. It's just that creation, and no one can stop you. When you're in that focus, you're unstoppable. that's, to me, that's what it is. Because we had so much limitations and so much of the wrong structure. And that's why structure creates reality. The path of least resistance. Robert Fricks. Learning to become the creative force in your own life.
Truth is, you always have been, but it's been largely unconscious.
That's why there's only one fingerprints. That there's only one Craig, one Jesse, one Nikki. In this whole planet. And then you say, who are you? Who am I not? Who am I not?
Well, that's a lot of what living this life is about, is discovering who you're not.
And that's where I feel
and eliminating all the possibilities, sort of.
Yeah. And that's where the genius, the gifts that we give to each other, but also to allow us to draw out from with ourselves, with oneself, to witness that, because that's the gift. You know, I see my son as somebody that is my teacher, for sure. There's no question. But secondly, what I also love is that he doesn't belong to me. He came through me, but he doesn't belong to me. You follow what I mean? And this is where I allow his gifts, his talents, his genius to come through and demonstrate. And when I am out of my egoic want to show my, my so-called authority, it doesn't bring out really the best in him. When he knows that he can know that no matter what, he knows that he can come to me and have a conversation. And no matter what, also that he can know that I will always have his back, no matter what. No matter what. That he's loved, supported, accepted, appreciated, valued, respect. And if he says to me, not now, mommy, I go, okay. To give him that space.
Wow.
And that I'm not forceful. Boy, there's no demanding. Yeah, there's no force, there's no demand. There's just what I'm choosing for him as me as a guide, and he can guide in the same way as I look at him. Because I know he's powerful, and I know that his choices that he makes is going to make his mistakes, and he is also going to go through his own experiences, but knowing that I'm not going to enable him, because I know that when he does, he can correct it. and he can make the right choices. And to me, that's very empowered because it gives me not holding on to the fear of what if. Yeah. But he informs me, oh, Mom, I'm not coming home a little early. I'm coming later tonight. So just that you know that, you know. So it's just that wonderful communication. Yeah. And with that communication, I can rest. I can rest because I know we're on the same level and we're communicating. And so I can do my day's work and I can really do extra things that I think, oh yeah, it's okay, you know, because I know he's coming home later. Yeah. So I can really have a productive day and being who and what I'm choosing. And then it comes that time where, it's coming close to the time when I know he needs to be home. And it's just knowing that he knows he'll be home. Yeah. And so I can, just give him a note during the day and say, hey, I'm thinking of you. I hope you're eating well. You're eating well and enjoy your practice. And then I have peace because I just have peace. I intend to give him that knowing that I have peace. And that to me, me having my dinner, and me having my evening, and then me going to bed. And knowing that I know today is a day off for him. He has no school. And so, he's with me. He's safe.
Intention.
Yes. And that I can bring back into my past where we're always looking at the past and go, I was labeled to say, I'll never be a good mother. I'm just saying, I will never be a good mother.
What difference does it make?
It doesn't. But what I am saying, words do create. It does leave a fingerprints when you're going through life and you pursuing something and somebody comes to you and tries to take it away. But that is where my intentions was, no, you're mistaken and you're wrong. Because my child is my child's my gift.
What I heard is that you were recalling an old concentration.
Yeah, thank you.
Just sharing an old concept rather than
very good, Jesse.
Rather than the intention.
Thank you, Jesse. There's a read between the lines.
That interesting.
Very interesting.
Well done,
Jesse. Very interesting. Very profoundly observation, but most important, reading between the lines.
The word was, I was.
Yes.
Where I was, and now it's the mastery of this is where I am.
Amen. Thank you, Jesse. Yes, Jesse. Yes, and woo! Talk about mastering. Yes, that's the beauty. Woo! Of summing something up, of acknowledging and knowing. Oh.
The beauty of listening, yes.
Oh, the beauty of listening. Love it.
The dance of listening.
The dance of listening, yes. Wow, that's just so sweet. That really is. Wow. To be heard is to be understood. To be heard is to be understood. Wow.
We all want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to make sense.
Amen.
Don't have to agree with it.
Yes.
Just not judge it.
Oh, come on. Oh, I love you so much right now. Yes.
Yeah, just sit back and enjoy it.
I'm taking
Just
it all in
enjoy it.
now.
Don't understand it. Just
Yeah,
freaking
just
enjoy
take it in.
Soak it up.
Just
The
soak it
only
up,
thing,
baby.
the only thing you don't need to do is judge it, because
Amen.
that is what we
Amen.
all do.
We all do, man. Oh my. You're the best. La 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 la. Wow, wow. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Mhm. This is juicy, baby. This is juicy. I'm making my juice this morning. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm on my 7th day today. I've got I'm going to share just because it's good and it's yummy. So I'm making on my 7th day today, my juice. I'm on a 10-day juice. It's so much fun. And I'm looking it up for you. Here it is. I'm just sharing just because it's fun. So my juice today is 3 handfuls of spinach, 2 green apples, 1 peel cucumber, 3 celery sticks, 1 tablespoon of ginger root, 1 ounce of parsley, a juice of 1 lime, and a juice of 1 lemon. Thank you very much.
Sounds delicious.
Oh, it is delicious.
You know,
Anything with
when I
how's
make
it going for
smoothies
you?
with-
Oh my God. So good. So
I
good.
make smoothies with lemon. I usually chuck in peel and all.
Amen to that. It's the best.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It was. I wanted
Juicy.
to add add to the juicy. That when
Juicy.
if we all, when we become aware we're judging
Oh,
as our
Jesus. Thank you.
default,
Oh my God.
then what we aim at is, then when we remove that, eliminate that, we become equal.
Amen, Jesse. That's when.
Become equal.
Oh, I love, 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 love. That I love.
And
Oh
when
my
we're
God, I
equal,
love that. I love
equal,
that
the
so much.
genius, the gifts, and the greatness can flow.
Yeah, man. I love that.
How and how we know we're doing that is when we say yes and
Yes,
to ourselves and to others.
yes, yes. Very grateful. Very grateful. Truly grateful.
And that's where we can focus on grateful, on expanding, on yes.
Yes. Oh, that's lovely.
All right,
Powerful.
guys, what a great day.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for the
much,
morning.
guys.
Love it.
This was
Yes.
juicy.
Juicy,
Juicy,
a good
delicious.
juicy.
Juicy, delicious.
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
both.
you. Thank you for your shares. It was wonderful. Your input.
Yep, this was a hot one.
This was a hot one. I love it. Go lit your fire now, Craig.
Yeah, well lit my fire, I tell you.
Yeah. Love you. Bye.
A lot of stuff.
Bye,
to
all.
digest today.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.